Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. ANZCAR trucks tonight for round number 2. Las Vegas Motor Speedway is your location. Tonight for round number 2. Las Vegas Motor Speedway is your location. Tonight for round number 2. Las Vegas Motor Speedway is your location.
Good evening, Aidan. How are you? And evening, ladies and gentlemen. Great way to top off a speed week coming to Las Vegas. Great way to top off a speed week coming to Las Vegas. Great way to top off a speed week coming to Las Vegas. Checker flag. No, it's all right. Got to get on to Matt and change that. No, it's all right. Got to get on to Matt and change that. No, it's all right. Got to get on to Matt and change that. Yeah, it definitely is, mate. I took the truck out of the shed and took it for a few hot laps today, and I can tell you what, that right rear is very punishing. It will run off very quickly. Punishing. It will run off very quickly. Punishing. It will run off very quickly. It will run off very quickly. It will run off very quickly. It will run off very quickly.
To be able to manage their tyres. So we'll see how it goes there. We do have insight from Carl Withy, none other than the man, the voice of ANZCAR, Carl Withy. He's in this race, and we've got about 43 to 40, sort of 6 or 7 laps of fuel that the drivers will have inside their trucks tonight. It is a 100-lap race, so if it's caution-free, there's also going to be a second stop, and it's going to be, are they going to take tyres, are they not, on that short run? So we'll see, but that's all saying it's not going to go caution-free. We don't know whether that's going to happen, but there you can go. The race info is on the screen. 100 laps, 245 kilometres or 152 miles. They do have unlimited tyre sets, and as I just mentioned, 43 to 47 laps per tank of fuel, as we are only 10 seconds about to go into the qualifying session. So Mark, we always do this, throw each other under the bus all the time, mate. Who's your pick here at Las Vegas?
Oh, it's got to be, I'd say,
Who's your pick here at Las Vegas?
I'm going to go Hamish. It's got to
Very hard to go against Hamish, mate.
Lucky 13, mate. I'm going to go Hamish.
Very hard to go against Hamish. I'm actually going to go someone different. I can see Danny G, Dave Douglas as we're about to go into the qualifying session now. But my pick, I'm actually going to go with Ruben Phelps. He comes in with a head full of steam. He started off the first couple of rows in the Daytona 500 as Carl Withy's just joined us in the booth as well. So don't write off Ruben Phelps. He's shown a really good turn of speed over the last 12 months, and he's gone from screens to VR. So we'll keep one eye on him from SRM Australia. I'm sure he'll be there or thereabouts. But we're 4 minutes 30 into the qualifying session. Carl, I don't know if you wanted to talk in here, but we've got you. But we're 4 minutes 30 into the qualifying session. Carl, I don't know if you wanted to talk in here, but we've got you. But we're 4 minutes 30. Well, that's very good.
Just to let you know,
Carl, I don't know if you
worth
wanted to
just
talk in
pausing it
here,
for a
but
couple of seconds.
we've got you. But we
I believe it's Dookie. 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 I believe
All right, unmute me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going through your grid. It'll be Darren McKenzie from Southern Stars out of P1, Danny G in P2. Out of P3 will be Jai Schultz and Hamish Gallagher. It looks like we have that audio fixed, so please let us know if you don't, but it sounded good to me. Out of the 5th position tonight will be Josh Micklemore with Lachlan Urquhart outside him, or Crujo. Next row will be Davey Douglas and Ruben Phelps. Nigel Patton and Jack Barrett bringing up the next row in 9th and 10th. Out of 11th will be Stephen Williams and Christopher Finlay. 13th and 14th will be Greg Spencer and Liam James. 15th and 16th will be Simon Heddersheed and Brenton Henderson, followed by, in the 17th position, will be Luke Kenny and Wade Sheedy. 19th position tonight will be Paul Drady, Mark Smith out of 20th as they roll off. We'll quickly roll through that. Steve Hoppett out of 21st. Good qualifying by Steve. Gary Wellman out of 22nd. 23rd tonight will be Matt Chalker with Chris Lethborg there in the 24th. 25th position, Sean D with Brett Campbell out of 26th. In 27th is Norman Clark from Natari Autosport with Brad Fenley, your second place getter for round number 1 at Daytona. Noddy Tompkins in 29th. Peter Gretton in 30th. In 31st position will be Chris Tomlin and Luke Crum out of 32nd. That is your 17 rows. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to go green. Darren McKenzie will be leading the way over Danny G, Jai Schultz in 3rd, Hamish Gallagher in 4th. So for anyone new tuning in here for the ANZCAR, the start is on the green. It is not on the leader. So have a look at those pictures. Have a look at this field. It's a very different track tonight, Las Vegas, as opposed to what they're coming off from a super speedway. Darren McKenzie is a master of 1.5s. He's coming off a win in round number 1 of the Xfinity here as well last week for ANZCAR. So we'll see how he goes tonight, whether he can do it. But we're about to go green. Danny G on the outside of Darren McKenzie, Jai Schultz, Hamish Gallagher, Josh Micklemore, Urquhart, Douglas. The pace car's going to make its way into pit lane this time around. Here we go. We're about to go green. Wait for those green lights. And we're about to go 30 for 100, even though we're not on dirt. Darren McKenzie with the jump there. And Mark, we're just going to let him settle down. I don't know whether you can actually talk at the moment. We can test it on the stream. But Darren McKenzie getting a good jump on the inside. So he's going to look to clear Danny G, and he gets that done through 1 and 2. We'll bring up the tower if we can, because we don't have live timing. It looks like that's Jai Schultz wanting to have a really good run early on Darren McKenzie. So Jai Schultz wanting to lead this one early. You can see in behind there, Josh Micklemore trying to make a run and follow him through as well. Is he going to be able to clear Darren McKenzie out of 3 and 4 for the first timer asking? Not quite. So you're going to see Danny G just jump down and help his teammate there in the 31, and they're going to set their eyes forward. Oh, as Danny G has a big blink out there. Going to set their eyes forward to Jai Schultz. In the background, Hamish Gallagher as well. So 3 teammates there from Mitch Motorsports going to work together. Like Dave Douglas just lost a couple of spots off the start in the background there. Lachlan Urquhart still in there in 7th place as well. But it looks like Darren McKenzie is quite content just to sit up on that high line. He knows, he's obviously done a lot of laps. He knows what Las Vegas Super Speedway does. So we'll see whether that is the right move, as the guys are really trying hard underneath him and wanting to make that move done. And it looks like they're going to clear him out. No, Hamish Gallagher not quite clear at the moment. So what you're going to see now, the harder that he holds Hamish down on the low line, Darren's going to look like he's going to sacrifice there on the entry of the turn, and then he'll gain off more. But it looks like he's just going to go and sit in there behind and chill. Dave Douglas there in the 10, just in behind. So he'll be watching this with a watching brief and seeing what's going on with Nigel Payton and Lachlan Urquhart behind as well. But it looks like Dave Douglas isn't happy to sit behind Darren McKenzie at the moment as well. So Dave Douglas making a big run up the inside there out of turn number 2 for the 4th timer asking tonight. So Darren McKenzie, after starting off the pole, just dropping back a little bit, but he's a wily old fox, and he's not old. He won't mind me saying that. He'll probably get a laugh, but he's trying to manage this race, so we'll see how that goes. And now Nigel Payton's wanting to make the move on him as well. So Nigel Payton's going to come up into the 6th position. He'll clear him possibly out of turn number 1 and 2 as he nearly catches the apron there, which would have made the truck really unsettled, which is why you see Darren McKenzie get a good run around the outside. And he's going to be in the draft of Dave Douglas in front of him as well. So just keep an eye on this from Darren McKenzie. I know we've focused on him for the first 5 laps. We will go to the leaders and other people in a minute, but you can see, oh, we've got an accident, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think we're under caution, but we've got an accident. Peter Gretton in my ear from, Peter's up into the wall, and he's done a good job there just to hold it up there and get out of the way. And the 87 there of Peter Gretton, that's not the way he wanted to start his night. So he's still circulating at the moment. His truck's going to be definitely hampered with that one, but he's still circulating. So not the way that Peter Gretton wanted to start this one. But we'll go back to the front, if you don't mind, Mark. Jai Schultz is leading this one by 3.3 of a second. He does have the Mitch Motorsports guys absolutely chasing him down at the moment. You can see the different lines that the drivers are taking. You got some running the low, some running the mid. So obviously it is a fixed setup. You run it totally different, but you're going to see now they're starting to move their way up into the mid track. If you want to make a run, you've really got to be able to commit to that low line. Otherwise, you just sort of sit there and ride for a little bit and see what your truck's going to do. But 7 into 100, Jai Schultz leading the way. Micklemore, Gallagher, Johnny G, Dave Douglas, Darren McKenzie, Nigel Payton, Jack Barrett, after coming off a podium, I believe, last week at Daytona, and Christopher Finlay rounding out your 10. Don't write off Stevie Dubb in the background as well. But Mark, I don't know what your sound's like, but feel free to jump in to the commentary booth and have a bit of a chat. But Jai Schultz, he started this one off very aggressive. We're 8 into 100. Quite a long run here. We're going to get 43 to 47 laps of fuel. So very aggressive early from Jai in the 270, and that's no surprise, but he's definitely got the pace to show for it as well.
Yeah, I just got some information through, Aiden. It looks like Kyle Turner has started from pit lane, so he's already on the back foot for this race tonight.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for Kai because he had a really good qualifying position. So I'm not sure whether he had some disconnection issues or something of the like. But he'll be there or thereabouts. He'll still fight his way up. Very draft dependent, though. As much as this is a 1.5, these trucks are really low horsepower compared to, say, a Cup car and an Xfinity car. So very draft dependent, and you really need to stay in that draft, as we nearly saw Josh Micklemore have a lick of the wall out of 2 that time around. So that's how hard they're driving at the moment. Hamish Gallagher still in 3rd, followed by Danny G. Dave Douglas, he's just there stalking in 5th position as well. So these guys are really, really, experienced campaigners. They know exactly what they're doing. Darren McKenzie's still sitting there. He started to run a little bit lower, so he's about mid-track now. He was a little bit higher earlier as he's got the job done on Nigel Payton. So Nigel passed him before, and now he's starting to make his way back forward. So Darren McKenzie now going into turns 3 and 4, trying to run that low line. So it looks like Darren just backed off for the first 10 or so laps, tried to save his gear, and he's about to try and make moves forward. But
just going to go back to Mark Smith. It looks like something may have happened with him. I've got the message that he was driving slowly, so I just don't know what's happened there.
Yeah. Oh, that's a big incident. Gary Wellman involved in that. No caution or nothing there. Mark Smith caught by Kai Turner. Two trucks going for the same place of real estate, and Gary Wellman, unfortunately, was the innocent bystander there. So we're still not cautioned. Very, very weird that did not bring out a caution there.
We are under caution now by the look of it.
Oh, we are under caution. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. The yellow did come up on the tower, so we do apologise here on the broadcast network. We do have no live timing at the moment. I'm just looking at the tower and the cars, so I do apologise. But we're under caution for the first time tonight here for round number 2 of the ANZCAR Truck Series, lap number 12 of 100. Now they're in the window to one stop home, so don't be surprised if you see everyone file down pit lane now. They've got unlimited tyres, they've stayed out. So interesting. Very interesting there, Mark.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry, mate. I've just got the session events going crazy on me. So I'm just...
But exactly as you see what I thought. You see Danny G, Hamish Gallagher, Josh Mickelmore, they know what's going on. Stevie Dubb that's on your screen at the moment. They've got the fuel worked out. They know exactly what they need to do. Very interesting strategy here by Jai Schultz and Wade Sheedy to stay out at the front. I don't know. They're obviously banking on a caution. If we go green, they may be a little bit hamstrung, but at the same time, it's a long race, 13 into 100. Luke Kenny with a good job. I've got to say Luke Kenny again from my team, doing a great job there up into third. Not sure whether that's the strategy call, but I'm not in the car to be able to help him. So Luke Kenny in the 27, they're doing a great job. Look who's in P number 5 there, Mark. Mr. Steve Hoppett. After starting about the 20-something position tonight. Nice clean truck in the 131. Really good livery there too, Mark.
Yeah,
sitting there in
good.
fifth position.
Really looking good, and it's good to see Steve back out on the track with the ANZCAR trucks. He's been missing for a little while, so let's hope he has a good run.
Yeah, definitely, and he's one of the gentlemen of sim racing as well, so really good to see him back on track. I believe in just the last couple of days, he has been setting up his rig again, so it's good to see him back on track. But even after pitting there, you see Josh Mickelmore, Hamish Gallagher, Danny G, Dave Douglas, Darren McKenzie, Lachlan Urquio, the rest of the field, if you don't mind, that came through pit lane. So the likes of Jai Schultz, Wade Sheedy, Luke Kenny, even Matt Chalker there and Steve Hoppett may be sitting ducks on this restart. So I don't know. Do they know something that we don't know, Mark? Because that was a very, very interesting decision by those guys.
Yeah, I definitely would have come down pit lane. In the laps I ran today, it's the tyres went off very quickly, and the conditions out here are very hot, so you'd want to get those fresh tyres on, even though the tyres that they're running now would be cooling down a little bit.
Yeah, and ladies and gentlemen, you make a good point there, Mark, if you are tuning in. There's a difference between tyre wear and heat as well. And I know from enduros that I've done and different racing I've done through iRacing, of course there is the tyre wear factor, but sometimes you can have 98, 97% tyre wear on your tyres, but if they overheat, the heat factor is sometimes more prevalent than the actual tyre wear. So I'm not in the truck, I don't know, but it's an interesting decision, but these guys are experienced campaigners here at the front. They've got absolutely experienced campaigners behind, so we're about to find out. What these guys also need to watch out for as well, especially the ones in the top 5 that didn't come through pit lane, is these trucks are very light on the rear, so it's very easy to light up the rear wheels when we go green and restart. So Gary Wellman, you can see just there on the bottom of your screen coming out, he's got some damage fixed. It looks like his car's still a little bit damaged, but he's going to go out and try and get some points. But we're going to go green this time around. There's Gary there, just making his way out of pit lane, out of turns number 1 and 2. So he's going to catch the field, and he's going to start off the back and reset. The truck doesn't look that bad, actually, compared to what I thought it would have with the size of that hit. You can see the front a little bit caved in there, but we'll see how they go. Jai Schultz off the pole here for the restart. Wade Sheedy, his teammate from Platinum, on the outside of the front row. Luke Kenny and Matt Chalker will start off the second row with Steve Hoppett, and watch out for Mickelmore, Gallagher, Danny G, McKenzie and Urquio in the 10, let alone the other 27 trucks in the field. So we're about to go green for the second timer asking tonight. Lap 15 of 100. One more stop for the guys that have pit so far. The guys in front probably have to pit twice again, but we're about to find out. I've been proven wrong plenty of times, Mark, so we're about to find out. Yeah. So the pace truck's into pit lane. We're about to go green. We'll stay and let you do the cameras once we go green. We'll be quiet here for 2 or 3 laps as Jai Schultz gets the jump off the inside line, and you listen to these trucks come out of turns number 1 and 2 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And I said, listen to it, but they're 3 wide in the background as Jai Schultz has made the run to the front. Someone hit the wall there out of turn number 1 and 2 for the first time. I'll need that tower again just to see who that was, Mark, if that's okay. Mate. That was Greg Spencer. So Greg Spencer into the wall out of turn number 1 and 2. So that's not going to be good for him as well. But Luke Kenny, following this, we'd call it it's not really a trio. I don't know. What's three? I don't know. I'm showing my intelligence here. But three at the front, Luke Kenny wanting to have a little bit of a look there on Wade Sheedy through 3 and 4. Luke needs to be very careful not to drive the car in too hard and try and rotate it too quickly because it's going to get very, very tight. Hamish Gallagher, Hoppett, Micklemore, McKenzie, Danny G, Finlay, Urquio, your 10. Ruben Phelps we haven't spoke about tonight. He was my pick. Don't know where he is at the moment, but we'll keep a little bit of a look on the front battle at the moment as it looks like Luke Kenny's got a lot of pace here and he's going to try and have a go on the inside of 3 and 4 of Wade Sheedy this time through lap 18 of 100. He's not going to be able to clear him. The truck's going to get really tight on exit and he does a good job to hold it down. So Luke Kenny is going to try and get that job done, but it's pretty much him fighting against the two Platinum guys at the moment as Luke Kenny nearly gets into the left-hand rear quarter panel of Wade Sheedy. You can see how that car's starting to get really tight there, Mark, as he tries to drive it really hard and narrow.
Yeah, you can't drive this track narrow. You've got to either stay up high and come down across the apron, or really stay at that mid-track to high track. I'm just trying to find Ruben, and he's actually disappeared. I know, there he is, down in 17th.
Yeah, he'll be there or thereabouts, but have a look at this. The number 13 from Mitch Motorsports having a big run. I told you the tyres made a difference. It was going to be an issue here for the guys that started off the front, and we're exactly seeing that at the moment. Steve Hoppett's already fallen down to the 12th position. We've got a car going low who's got really loose out of turn number 2 that time. But Hamish Gallagher really quick, and this is the difference between 14-lap-old tyres to brand new tyres. That's how quick it happens, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see Hamish Gallagher almost drive completely around the outside of Jai Schultz here in 1 and 2. Even though Wade Sheedy's sitting there trying to give him a hand, that extra tyre grip just helps. And you see it just rotate through the corner and look at it, just punch off the corner. And he's going to clear Jai Schultz for the lead here down into turn number 3 and 4 for the 21st time of asking.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Jai's better off just letting Hamish go and letting him have that run.
Oh, there's Wade Sheedy's loose in the background. That was a big slide from Wade Sheedy and a good save. Sorry there to cut you off, Mark. That was huge. But Wade Sheedy's still going. So that's a tyre thing right there. Trying to drive it too hard, too low, and trying to make the truck do too much work. Not allowing the truck to come to you.
Just had something come up about our mate Steve Hoppett. We might go back and have a look at a replay and see what happened there with Steve.
100%. Let's do that. We'll go back to the replay and have a look at what happened with Mr. Steve Hoppett. He started out 5th on this restart. We'll just go and have a look now as he's going into 3 and 4 here.
He's on the low line, so...
He's on the low line, so something's happened to him that we've missed. So not quite sure what's happened there. That's the 09 there, a Norman Clark you can see on the screen. And there is Kobe Jordan, I believe, or one of the two, Luke Crum there. That's Kobe Jordan. That's definitely Kobe with that livery. So Kobe Jordan coming off a really, really good result for the Daytona 500 in the Cup car from LCR Esports. He come home 8th, and he's just sort of sitting back at the moment. He's trying not to run too early. So he's in behind Norman Clark there. Not sure where he's sitting because of the live timing not quite working, but he's back in the pack at the moment, doing a good job. He definitely knows how to race these race tracks coming off a super speedway. Brad Fenley, you can see in the VB car after coming 2nd in the Daytona race last week here for round number 1 of the trucks. A little bit further back than what he saw himself last week, but in saying that, at the Daytona race, he was a little bit further back and he come in and got through 2nd. So still a long way to go. We've now just gone quarter race distance, 25 of 100. Hamish Gallagher sitting there in 1st with Josh Micklemore, just 0.086 of a second behind. But have a look who's coming. We're under yellow again. We're under yellow again, Mark.
Yes, I just seen that. I'll just see if I can... Wade Sheedy, by the look of it, we might go back and have a look, see if we can see what actually happened.
Let's do that. We'll go back and have a look at the replay, see what happened to Wade Sheedy. We saw just a couple of laps ago, he got really loose off 3 and 4. You can see him there in the Platinum car on the outside. Here into 1. Oh, bit of net code there maybe on the inside. That very unfortunate there for Wade Sheedy. I think that was a bit of netcode, to be honest with you, Mark.
Yeah,
I know
we
we're
might
just
go back and have
commentators.
another look at it.
So I'll have a look. He stays on the outside line as he comes. No, just driven straight into the left-hand rear. Unfortunate there for Wade Sheedy. That is a night that could have been just driven into the left-hand rear. And that goes to show how tight the trucks get, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. And he's done the right thing too, Aidan, by just putting his brakes on and staying there in the middle of the track. So
Yeah, 100% he has, and that is the rules. You've got to put your brakes on because you don't want other cars piling into you. People want to know where you are, and you're doing 300 kilometres an hour in these trucks, and it's very hard to make a decision quickly. So you don't want a car moving in front of you, rolling down the track, trying to navigate around. So good job there by Wade Sheedy, albeit he's going to be very disappointed. But this is also going to allow Jai Schultz and the likes that didn't pit earlier to come back into pit lane. But you can see all the leaders are back in as well. Darren McKenzie, everyone, unlimited tyres. So they are very smart being able to do that. And Hamish Gallagher is going to lead them off pit lane from Josh Micklemore. And Jai Schultz, I can tell you right now, that's a get out of jail free card for Jai.
yeah, it definitely is. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we're still having some issues here with the overlays. It's actually not letting me change camera now. So there we go. We've got it.
Yeah, you can sometimes find, Mark, that it has a bit of a lag. It seems to have a mind of its own sometimes.
Yeah, there seems to be a little bug in the background, and we're trying to fix it. But there's three of us working on it, and we just can't seem to find what the issue is at the moment. But back to the race anyway. Hamish out in front with Josh Micklemore in second, and that's a good looking paint scheme. We've seen him debut that paint scheme yesterday at the 500. So very, very nice looking truck. Nigel Patton there in fourth. Third, Jai Schultz in fourth. Christopher Finlay.
Finlay? Yep.
Finlay. In fifth, Darren McKenzie in sixth. Stevie Dubb in seventh. And it always confuses me because I'm so used to him seeing him in that green cup car of his.
Yeah, I know. All the paint jobs are confusing me at the moment. Josh Micklemore running the red paint. He's usually running the blue. It threw me out at the 500 on Sunday because I'm running a red paint now. I'm used to running the purple. So it definitely threw me out. But Joshy Micklemore, don't write him off. Nigel Payton still, he's done a good job to get back up into third position. He was running as high as 6 earlier. He did make the run on Darren McKenzie, and then Darren McKenzie got him back as well, of course. From Pinnacle there, Nigel Payton, supported by Witcher Electrics, as you can see down the left-hand rear of the car. Anyone in Melbourne who needs some electrical work, jump onto Witcher Electrics, family-owned business, jump onto them, and they'll be sure to help you out. But Tay-Tay's at the front, Hamish Gallagher. He's always run the old Taylor Swift livery, so it's definitely been kind to him, and so far it's kind to him as well. Lap 28 of 100. Second caution of the night. Have a look at my pick, the 06 of Ruben Phelps. Phelpsy out of New Zealand. He's now worked his way up into the 9th position. Luke Kenny's now jumped back to 10th. Simon Heddersheet up to 11th. Christopher Tomlin, if you don't mind, from LCR, up there in the 12th position. Christopher Tomlin, he had a really good Daytona 500 in the Cup on Sunday, and he's showing a good turn of form tonight as well, up into the 12th position. Jack Barrett, Spencer, Wesley Closey. I don't know where to look, Mark. I can talk about the whole field. It just changes that quickly as we're about to go green.
Yeah, it definitely does. It's a non-stop change. So it's really all the opening rounds for the season this year have been challenging to pick on where to look for the action. It's been action packed right throughout.
Yeah, it definitely has. But just to quickly, before we go green, we did just run the Daytona 500 for the Cup, and Andrew Dyson went back to back. So it's hard enough to win a Daytona 500, and Andrew Dyson's just won it twice in a row in ANZCAR, so he'll be happy about that one. But we're going green. Mitch Motorsports off your front row. Hamish Gallagher, Josh Mickelmore will lead the way. Nigel Payton, Schultz, Finlay, McKenzie, keep an eye out for him. Urquio's been a silent achiever at the moment, so don't write him off in the 42 there from SRM Australia. Stevie Williams on the inside of him. We're about to go green. We're in the hands of Hamish Gallagher, excuse me, as I nearly choke. And Hamish Gallagher jumps early and he is gone. So Nigel Payton's going to try and get up on the inside there and not allow Josh Mickelmore. Josh Mickelmore actually got left wanting there off the start, which is really surprising considering they would have been in voice chat. So we're going to see here Nigel Payton try and clear Josh on the inside. He's not going to do that because Josh is going to sit in the draft here, Hamish, and Hamish is going to allow him to drag back up onto the back of him. How hard is Nigel wanting to race over the next couple of laps to try and get this job done? It looks like very hard, and he's want to go to the lead of this motor race at this point. Nigel Payton getting a really good run. Jai Schultz trying to follow him as well. Jai Schultz is going to give him a good nudge when he gets there as well and try and get through. So we're seeing a little bit of status quo by these drivers. What we saw in that first green flag stint, they're wanting to run hard early. So we saw that didn't really help them at the end of that stint. Well, in saying that, Jai was still leading, but it didn't really help him in the way that it was panning out in the race. As Josh Mickelmore now down the inside of Jai Schultz with Darren McKenzie in the background as well, trying to make his way up. You got Lachlan Urquio and Stephen Williams too wide in the background as well. Christopher Finlay and Ruben Phelps now up into 8th position. So they're too wide, about 4 deep back in the pack, Mark.
Yeah, definitely. And it's nearly half distance, and so it's they're kind of sort of starting to jostle for that, getting into that front group. And just had the session part jump up, and Darren McKenzie has just set the new fastest lap of the race with a 30.891.
Yeah, quick lap there by Darren. No surprise. We'll see him come there or thereabouts. But Darren will be the first to say through 1.5s, and he's got a lot better at it. Tyre wear sometimes has been his issue. He's very, very quick driver. Make no qualms about that, ladies and gentlemen. He is really, really quick. He took a different approach into this one, which I saw early on in the race, went really high. As we see Wade Sheedy, just a lap car, just letting them all go at the moment. 2 distinct groups now. So a good 2.5 second gap back from Luke Kenny, who's sitting in 12th at the back of this pack as we're too wide. Jai Schultz really trying to get the job done around the outside of Nigel Payton here. So Jai looking very racy tonight, Mark. He likes to lead. He doesn't like to lose. Sometimes that is his worst enemy. But at the moment it's going well as he's trying to make his way up. But now he's going to get hung out to dry here through 3 and 4, and Darren McKenzie's going to clear him as well. So Jai Schultz back into 5th, and that's going to be Stephen Williams in behind him as well. So Stevie Williams, your round number 1 winner at Daytona, up into 6th position. Can he go back-to-back, Mark, here for the ANZCAR trucks here for season number 1 in 2023 for race number 2 here from Las Vegas Motor Speedway?
Mate, with the cars that are in front of him, Hamish Gallagher, Josh, Darren McKenzie, he's got a big ass, but you've got to also look behind him. You got Lachlan and Ruben. You know, there's some great names up here in that top 15.
Yeah, and what we haven't seen so far, Mark, and everyone tuning in, is we haven't seen a really, really long green flag run. If we get 30 or 40 laps under a green flag run, we're really going to see who's driving their car to the conditions. We know that Hamish is definitely going to do that. He's not winning ANZCAR a lot in different leagues for not having that. But Stevie Dubb, big send down the inside of 3 and 4 there, and Jai Schultz, and he's going to get that job done as they go down through the straight into turns number 1 and 2. So Stevie Dubb, that was a real authoritative move there, Mark. Threw it down the inside and said, Jai, that's mine. You're going to need to hold on the outside as Lachlan Urquio tries to follow him through.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like Jai's just starting to struggle a bit. But in saying that, he's ducking back down, trying to get back underneath Stevie Dubb. But it's a bit hard to do with another truck there of Lockie.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about this at the moment. Jai's racing really hard and they make contact down the straight. I was worried about that, and I thought that was going to happen, but that's all right. No harm, no foul. Jai gets to reset. Christopher Finlay's the beneficiary of that one. He's just up in behind Lachlan Urquio, and sorry, Lachlan, whether it's a Crujo, Urquio, my apologies, send me a PM, I'll let you know, as there's a lap car on the outside there as
That's
well.
Mark Smith.
Mark Smith, who was in that earlier incident.
Yeah.
So Stephen Williams, they're coming up on the back of DMAC, but Darren McKenzie, he's trying to get a move done now on Josh Mickelmore into 1 and 2. So Darren McKenzie not content to sit there in the 4th position. It looks like he's going to try and get that job done. You'll see Josh get a really, really good run off too, and he'll be in the draft there of Nigel Payton. So he'll clear Darren McKenzie into 3 and 4. So Darren's just going to have to sit in there, bide his time, and reset and have another go shortly. As we see the tightness of the cars there. You saw how tight Stephen Williams got through 3 and 4 there. His car just pushed completely through the centre of the corner.
Yeah, and look, the tyres are starting to get hot. What are they on? They're on 13 and 14 laps on these tyres. So it's the tyres will definitely be starting to get hot. I found today that around the 15 mark, they really started to drop off that nice pointy edge and really go. I've just got a message through our Facebook. The 015 Brett Campbell has had to put the truck behind. I didn't actually see what happened.
Neither did I. I can see him. I've got iRacing up, and I was actually watching him in the right-hand side of that Golden Octopus Foundation car is not looking too good. So disappointing there for Brett Campbell. We could possibly bring Brett up into the booth if he's available, and we can he's got smoke coming out of his car, so he's definitely not going anywhere. So Brett Campbell, that is a night that he would want to forget. And Brett's actually a new member of our team, actually. He's come across. We just do it for some fun. So he's running his Golden Octopus livery, as he's always going to do, but he's going to jump across and do some racing too, as Josh Mickelmore in front, getting very, very close to that outside wall.
Yeah, definitely. Well, mate, we've been able to get Brett up here. He's come out from the care centre. Mate, not a night that you'd want to remember, I guess.
No, mate, just an unfortunate incident, I think.
Yeah.
So, Bretto, mate, sorry to cut you off there, mate. Bretto, what happened? We didn't quite see it. I saw the old Golden Octopus Foundation car not looking as nice and shiny as it did down the right-hand side before you started the race.
Yeah, mate, I think, I can't even think who it was now, got into just glanced the wall coming out of 2, and I caught him at the entrance of turn 3, and I think he just maintained his line, and the problem was I was there still where I was, so to speak, and just tapped the rear quarter of my car and put me straight into the wall.
It's unfortunate, mate. I know you were looking forward to a good night tonight, and you always do, and concentrate on the trucks and some different things. Mate, I was saying in the broadcast before, you're going to come across and have a run with us for a little while and see how you go. You excited about that one?
Yeah, mate, yeah.
Yeah, hold back your thoughts. Hold it.
Still just a little bit disappointed, mate, that's all.
Nah, all good, mate. I definitely know what it's like, mate. It's never good. And you're not the only one tonight. You got Gary Wellman we see on the outside there. He had a tough luck earlier. He got caught up in someone else's incident. We saw Kai Turner. That's NASCAR, made it happen. Sometimes it's luck, sometimes it's good management, and sometimes it's just absolutely demoralising. So unfortunate for you, but I guarantee you'll be back out here for round number 3. But while you're in the booth with us, mate, big shout out to those sponsors. Big shout out to the Golden Octopus Foundation. We'll give you a couple of minutes, talk about them, and I know you're disappointed, but utilise this time on a positive.
Yeah, mate. I approached the people at Golden Octopus Foundation. I first met Keely Johnson back in 2012, 2013, when my wife was going through the early stages of her cancer treatment, who we subsequently lost in 2003. So I thought I'd reach out to both Kathy, Keely's mum, and Keely, and see if they, using the iRacing platform, we try and raise some money later on this year for the Golden Octopus Foundation, which will be announced probably late April, the actual event. So yeah, we're just raising awareness at the moment for childhood cancers, and it's not just one family of cancers; it's all cancers. And the Golden Octopus Foundation supports families and children who have recently been diagnosed with cancers. So, and Keely's a fighter herself. She's um, undergoing undergone cancer treatments as well. So, and yeah, it's money to send a big shout out and big thumbs up to the people of the Golden Octopus Foundation.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And good job by you for supporting them. And anyone tuning in on the stream, Golden Octopus, I'm sure you can search them in Google. Anyone that wants to get a part of that, support them. Or, of course, make a little bit of a donation, whether it be it small or big. I'm sure that Brett could put you in the right position and you'll be able to do that. But, Brett, we'll let you go, mate. Well, I know you're disappointed. Thanks for jumping up in the booth, but we'll go back to the lead of the motor race, which is Hamish Gallagher over Josh Micklemore at the moment. And they've got nearly half a second on Nigel Payton, Mark.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I'm just having some issues here, and it's kind of jumping all over the shop here. So looks like it's settled down again. Definitely going to have to do some work on this and see if we can get it right for next week because I don't like it at all.
That's right, mate. It's all learning, and I'm sure everyone here watching does not mind whatsoever. But Mitch Motorsports now with a good, clear gap now over Nigel Payton and Darren McKenzie. So what we've seen here for the first time, Mark, is we've seen a good green flag run, and we're seeing the difference of tyre strategy in relation to how they're driving the track. And we're seeing the Mitch Motorsports guys of Hamish Gallagher and Josh Micklemore really starting to gap the field at the moment. Nigel Payton doing a good job just trying to tap onto the back of them at the moment. Darren McKenzie's got Stephen Williams over the back of him at the moment, pressuring him. So he's going to have one eye in the mirror as opposed to looking in the front as well. Have a look who's up into P7, Mark, Mr. Ruby Phelps.
Yeah, it's good to see Ruben finally into the top 10. What we might do is we might jump on board on the gyro cam with Hamish and just see how he's running the track. Then we might jump back and have a look at maybe Nigel or someone a little bit further back.
All right, so we're on board at the moment
with.
That's all right. We're on board at the moment with Hamish Gallagher. So you can see he's holding it low through the tri-oval, comes high. He's going to come as close to the wall as he can. He's actually still turning. That's about mid-track at the moment. So he just backs it off a little bit and then powers through on the mid-track and uses all the exit on the outside. So he's just trying to keep the momentum up in that truck at the moment and keep going through. But he does take a lot tighter line through 3 and 4 because you don't really drift out to the wall out of 3 and 4 a lot of the times. He is now doing that because he's trying to save his tyres. But a very different line we're seeing here from Hamish Gallagher through 1 and 2 to 3 and 4 as he makes his way through 1 and 2 again. So he's sitting just above that crease, as I call it. You can see he'll be using that as a guideline, and he's up onto the outside. That's Wade Sheedy in front of him, who he's going to put another lap down. And he'll go low this time as well through 3 and 4. But like you said, we'll go back to, I believe it was, I'm not sure who you said we were going to go back to.
We might jump back to Ruben. He's down in the 7th, so we're on board here with Ruben Phelps now.
Yeah, we are. They're going to navigate through lap traffic, so this is going to be a good indication of what lines they're running. But also with Ruben, you can see Lachlan in front of him. That's his teammate from SRM Australia. He's going to try to get the job done on Lachlan now. Lachlan will just let him go because Ruben looks like he's obviously faster. Ruben running really low through 3 and 4 that time as well. And he's going to have, see the outside there. See, that's the difference right there. Lachlan Urquio let the door open, but he got such a bigger run off the outside, off the exit of the corner. So you'll see now, see how Ruben's just changed his line and gone a little bit higher. So now these two guys from SRM Australia are ranging up on the back of Stephen Williams and Darren McKenzie. So don't be surprised in the next couple of laps whether we see moves trying to be made by the 42 and the 06 respectively on the 42 and the 06 on the 98 and the 02.
Yeah, that's confusing too. There's been some number changes this year, but not so much in the trucks. But in the cups, I know Carl and I were having a little battle with calling who's who in with the numbers. So yeah.
And then we just throw liveries into the mix as well, and that just makes it all the better. So, but I tell you what good liveries from the SRM guys this year. They're sensational liveries. They've had a big overhaul in the way that they've done their liveries and everything this year. We go back to, I believe that is no, that's Matty
Yeah.
Raymond, isn't it?
No, that's Noddy. He's got
Noddy.
the way you can tell he's like Noddy's got the old Noddy cartoon on the side of the truck. I'll see if I can get a bit better picture of him. So they've really done well with their paint schemes this year.
Gotta love old Noddy, not Noddy the actual person in the car, Noddy the cartoon, to be honest. Did you not love Noddy growing up, mate? You gotta love Noddy.
I did.
Mate, it's like Mr. Squiggle. It's like me going iRacing, upside down, upside down.
And Mr. Sheen.
I think I've got to have that on my car, mate.
We're up to Matty Ray and Mr. Sheen.
Mr. Sheen, yep. Does he has Mr. Sheen on the side as well?
Yes.
So Matty Ray, he's notorious with wanting to start at the back and make his way through, and he does that. And he's notorious for a driver in ANZCAR. Regardless of where he finishes, he always finishes with not a blemish on his car, and you can see that right now, lap 60 into 100. We're now inside 40 laps to go, as I nearly jinxed him, as it looked like he nearly smacked the outside wall there out of 3 and 4. But Hamish Gallagher now trying to turn the screws, and he's starting to make his way forward and slowly extend that gap between himself and Josh Mickelmore. So no surprise here from Hamish. He's now probably got that out to about half a second. So Mitch Motorsports 1 and 2 and exactly right, 0.467 seconds. They've got now 1.2 seconds on Nigel Payton, Darren McKenzie and Stephen Williams now a further 0.8 of a second behind them. So this is long green flag running, and these are the people that know how to run these cars and know what the track's going to do. Very hot track temp tonight, as we said. We've got one more green flag pit stop if it does go green. At the moment, it's Hamish Gallagher and Josh Mickelmore's to lose.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see how big a gap they've now got back to Nigel and Darren. And Nigel's out there by himself. So that's not going to be helping his cause either. With Darren, Stevie Dubb, Ruben and Lachlan all trying to work together, and they really need to get into a single lane, and if they're going to catch these boys at the front.
Yeah, they are. They're going to have to work together, and it's really relevant here for Darren McKenzie and Stephen Williams, because they've got about a second up the road Nigel Payton, but they've got Phelpsy and Urquio right in beside them as well. So if these guys work together, they possibly could bring in Nigel at the moment and try and drag it back. But you can see there with that mid-line, look at Ruben Phelps's run on the outside of Darren McKenzie off turn number 1 and 2. The car just rotates so much better, no push. And they're almost going to pass and clear Darren McKenzie into 3 and 4. You'll probably see them clear him out of 3 and 4 this time around, and you do exactly that. And look at that, Darren McKenzie. And he's decided to blink. He goes, enough's enough. I'm pitting now. I can get to the end and I'm going to go. So Darren McKenzie, keep an eye on him. He's going to jump people in this pit stop, but is that going to hinder him late in the race? We're about to find out. Christopher Tomlin now, I'll have to say that to you, Mark, up into the 8th position, if you don't mind. The ever-consistent Christopher Tomlin up to the 8th position.
Yeah, definitely. I've just brought up the tyre life, how many laps they've done in this stint. So most of them are now up to 37. Christopher's up to 38. So these tyres are really starting to feel second-hand under these trucks.
100% they are, and we're seeing the difference of how the drivers drive. Christopher Finlay has actually dropped back as well. He was fighting for a top 5 earlier on in this green flag stint, and now he's dropped back. You can see him in the background. He's now getting passed by Greg Spencer as well. So Yeah, Christopher Finlay just dropping back as I believe that is Greg Spencer making the move through 3 and 4. So Greg Spencer now up into the 9th position. It will change on your tower shortly. And Danny G there, after starting at the front, he's making his way back and he's going to want to be able to get back there and try and have something for his Mitch Motorsports teammates as well. But he's a little bit set back in the field at the moment and he's going to be hoping for a caution later. But he'll make his way up there at some stage, no doubt. Danny G is the league owner, the person who runs the ANZCAR Truck Series. So not only does he set everything up for all these drivers, he's out there turning laps as well, and he's doing a great job. Made his way back up into 10th. He's 30 seconds off the lead. It's not 30 seconds off the lead. Sorry, that was his last lap time.
Yeah.
But he's a little bit off the lead at the moment. We'll go back and have a look. Simon Heddersheed's dropped back a little bit as well. He's in the 053. A little bit different to see Simon back in the 13th because he's a really, really good steerer from New Zealand. Looks like Greg Spencer's coming into pit lane this time as Danny's really blinking hard tonight in regards to his internet connection. But Greg Spencer's now decided to come into pit lane. We got Noddy Tompkins there. Not sure who that is. I'm having a bit of connection issue myself. Simon Heddersheed that we were just speaking about. So Simon at the moment, he's now into 12th with Greg Spencer pitting. And that's Matthew Raymond just in front of him for position as well. Norman Clark's actually pitted early. I believe that's... Actually, I don't know who that is. I'm struggling to catch up. But let's go on board at the moment. They're about to go through green flag pit stops. I'll stop talking, ladies and gentlemen. Mark will stop talking. We'll just keep on board with Simon Heddersheed and turn up the volume and we'll just let it play out for a lap or two and we'll be back through and talk you through the green flag pit stops. Okay, so pit laps are done. Looks like that is possibly Luke Crum or Christopher Tom. Luke Crum coming out of pit lane that you saw there. And Mark, all the green flag pit stops are definitely starting to happen now. We're 70 into 100. We saw Darren McKenzie blink early, so he's going to make some good gains here on the new tyres. But you can see the different... Oh, as we see a driver come into pit lane there, he gets that one. Simon has done a good job to hold on to that one. I thought he would be facing in the wrong direction, but Simon Heddersheed into pit lane as well. So we're seeing all the green flag pit stops. This is their last time having to come through, even if we go caution. So we're about to find out. Looks like Luke Kenny's come down pit lane as well out of third position. Oh, Simon Heddersheed into the fence in pit lane. There's a commentator's curse if you've never seen one, Mark.
Yeah, that's it.
Stephen Williams now leading the race over Matthew Raymond. So Mr. Sheen now goes up into first as we see Heddersheed come out of pit lane. He's not going to like that pit stop. But Matthew Raymond has now taken the lead of this motor race. We'll go on to him if we can click cameras and see where he is. Or am I keeping you on your toes too much?
No, everything's freezing up on me here. So it's I can't even move the scoring time or anything.
That's right. We'll just keep on board with Simon Heddersheed. We're having a bit of issues here in the background with changing cameras, so we'll just stay on board with the 053 of Simon Heddersheed at the moment. As Sean D took the lead of the motor race as well. He's going to... I'm just keeping an eye on the tower at the moment, so it's not what you're seeing on your camera. Keep an eye on your tower because everything's happening through pit lane at the moment. Darren McKenzie has got the jump over Hamish Gallagher through the pit lane, as you can see there on the tower. So Darren McKenzie, 2 seconds up the road from Hamish Gallagher. That's what new tyres do. I said that early in the broadcast. I didn't know why Jai Schultz and them didn't come through pit lane. That's obviously affected them as well because they're well down, well, not well down the order. Jai Schultz in 6th at the moment, but it's it was a weird thing to see that they didn't do that, and you can see how relevant it is to have new tyres when you can around this track.
Yeah, definitely, and especially again, Hayden, we go back to the heat. It's not tyre wear so much; it's the heat that these tyres are getting into them. So it's yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is, and because the rear of these trucks are so light, and like I said, I'm no expert, and everyone can call me out on the broadcast, but especially through 3 and 4 here, where you run it a lot lower as you do to 1 and 2, it can be really risky to get that inside left rear really heated up, as you say, and get a bit of oversteer coming out of 3 and 4, and we saw that with Wade Sheedy earlier on in the race. And then again, obviously, it wasn't, well, we're not going to say it wasn't his fault 'cause we're just commentators, but unfortunately having an incident and turning around again. So we'll see how that goes. Noddy Tompkins now leading the race over Darren McKenzie. So it keeps going the way it's going. Darren McKenzie's going to take the lead of the motor race when Noddy Tompkins comes into pit lane. But Darren's got Hamish right behind him just a second down the road. And have a look who's ranging up in third place. My man, Ruben Phelps. He's been through pit lane and Noddy's in pits. So Ruben Phelps now will be third on the track at the moment. He's now jumped Josh Micklemore with Jai Schultz in fifth. Lachlan Urquio in sixth. Finlay, Peyton, James and Stephen Williams, your round number one winner, rounding out your 10. There we go, Noddy Tompkins coming out of pit lane. But we go back to the front. There we go. We've got it back. So Darren McKenzie, that is the gap between first and second. Darren McKenzie and Hamish Gallagher, and Josh Micklemore a further 2 seconds down the road. So that's a lap car behind them. So that's how well they've got this done. But Hamish, I reckon Hamish has got this done, Mark. 77 into 100 if we go green. Darren's done a really good job to jump him through pit lane, and he really had nothing else he could have done. He needed to do something because he was stuck back there in third or fourth, about 2.5 seconds down, and he got the jump done. But Hamish, he was really quick on that long run, and we're seeing that now. He just props up through the middle of 1 and 2 and tucks that truck down, and he's going to get that job done down the back straight into 3 and 4, and he's going to take the lead of the race again, once again. So Hamish Gallagher now, the 13 Mitch Motorsport car, taking the lead from Darren McKenzie through 3 and 4. 78 of 100, only 22 to go, ladies and gentlemen. That's Josh Micklemore there on screen in the red and black Mitch Motorsports 31. You'll see just in behind him, you can see there is Ruben Phelps as well. So Ruben, from being nowhere in this race, has made his way back up into fourth. Does he have anything for Josh Micklemore? We're about to find out. Lachlan Urquio there on screen as well. That's your fifth place getter at the moment. And Christopher Finlay now moved his way back up into sixth. So Christopher Finlay, who was just outside the top 10 after being up there early, is now making his way into the top 6, or has made his way into the top 6. Nigel Payton, who was running second early, you can see him there. He's got Jai Schultz. And Jai Schultz and Stephen Williams have not been able to get apart from each other the whole race as Stevie Dubb makes the move through 1 and 2 on Jai there.
I'm just wondering if Jai's carrying a fair bit of damage, or something's happened, because he's dropped back down. He was up there towards the front, but he's really dropped back down as the cameras decide not to play the game again. Yeah,
that's all right.
He's hit the right.
Yes,
you can see the damage there.
Yeah, he's hit the right-hand front, so that's going to be really hamstrung there for Jai. But another thing we need to keep an eye on, Mark, too, that we've heard, and I know we're 81 to 100 with only 19 to go as we're on board with Hamish Gallagher again, your race leader, now 1.2 seconds in front of second and third place, that being Josh Micklemore and Darren McKenzie. These trucks in a group, they tend to overheat a little bit too. We've heard that because the track temp and the heat temp's so high, they start to get that thing in your ear, oh, cool it down, you're getting hot. And we've heard that from a couple of people as well. I know that was not the issue that what Jai had. We could visibly see that obviously he's had a bit of an altercation with the outside wall, and it's the outside wall 1, Jai Schultz 0. But Hamish Gallagher leading the way now, and he's really starting to extend that gap. We'll see what it is, 1.2 seconds. We'll see what it is this time around. It has now gone, no, it's actually gone down. So Josh Mickelmore starting to make little bits of inroads on his teammate Hamish Gallagher. He's brought it down into 1.08. Darren McKenzie's now dropped right off. So we'll see what Darren McKenzie can hold on for if this goes green. And that's a very if. Ruben Phelps, 3.7 seconds. But Stephen Williams come into this round leading after winning the Daytona race for round number 1. While we're talking about this, Mark, I might just talk about the championship points coming into this round. Yes, we've only had one round, and this is exactly how they finished. But in saying that too, there is penalty points and everything, and I can see there is no penalty points applied to anyone for round number 1. So coming into this round, and if you have a look down your tower on the left-hand side as we're about to go 15 laps to go, you'll see where your driver is on the racetrack, and I'm about to talk to you about where they were in the championship coming into this race. So Stephen Williams currently sitting in 5th, come into this round sitting 1st. Brad Fenley at the moment, not really there or thereabouts. He come in sitting 2nd. It's not going to be a good round for him at this current time. Shane Bowen came in 3rd, and he's not there in the top as well. So, and we can keep going on. Brad Allison, who I don't see out there tonight. Josh Mickelmore, who's in 2nd, he come in 6th. So this will be a good little points haul for Josh. Hamish, who wasn't there in round number 1 as well. Norman Clark, he come into this round rather in 8th position. He's sitting back there in 14th. So that's a good result for him as well as it currently stands. But the biggest gainer at the moment in regards to championship points would definitely have to be Josh Mickelmore. And he's still gaining on Hamish, Mark. Sorry to cut you off. He's now got it down to under a second. So 86 of 100, Josh Mickelmore really giving it to his teammate and bringing down that gap. So it's now under a second, 8.98. Is it going to get closer this time around? It has. It's gone down, albeit 3/1000ths of a second. It's now down to 0.861, and they're absolutely gapping the field. They've got 3.6 seconds on Darren McKenzie in 3rd.
Yeah, it's definitely a big open up. Like we've probably seen 2 of the most experienced guys in the trucks really show the rest of the field how to drive the trucks. As we see Hamish just getting down underneath.
That's an LCR car by the looks of it, and
just
that
trying to pick the number.
That could actually be Christopher Tomlin, I believe. After running I needed 2-1-2 of Christopher Tomlin. After running so strong early in this one, he's now dropped right back. So he's hit the wall as well. You can see there, same as Jai Schultz. It's almost identical damage. So that's how hard Las Vegas Motor Speedway can bite. And he's had a big rub of the right-hand side down the wall there. So unfortunate there from Christopher Tomlin. I'm sure I put the mocker on him there because I was saying he's so consistent, and he usually is, but that's unfortunate, and we saw Jai Schultz do that as well. But now on with Greg Spencer there from Pinnacle Esports. He's now moved his way up inside the top 10. He's still got Danny G in behind him as well. So this is the battle for the top 10 at the moment. Who's going to get that? They've got a little bit of a gap. Well, they've got quite a big gap, rather, about 3.5 seconds over Mr. Sheen, Matty Raymond, sitting back there in 12th, and that's him on screen at the moment. He's got Liam James just in behind him as well, and Norman Clark from New Zealand in the 14th position. Jack Barrett, after coming off a podium at Daytona, in 15th position. 10 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, or not, 11 laps rather, 90 into 100. It's Hamish Gallagher, 0.7 of a second up the road from Josh Mickelmore. We're slowly seeing that get pegged away by Josh. So and it's down to now 0.665. So 91 of 100. Don't be surprised we don't see the 31 and the 13 teammates from Mitch Motorsports fight this one out and go side by side for the win.
Has everyone taken on enough fuel in that last stop to see him through to the end?
I think they have, mate. With the way that we were looking at the fuel drop, I think they have. These guys are smarter than that. I definitely think they have. Darren McKenzie wouldn't have blinked to come into pit lane if he wasn't good to go on fuel. And these guys went a couple of laps after, excuse me, as you saw Darren get about a 2-second lead over Hamish, but then with that tyre condition, we saw them jump him through the green flag. So the 13 and the 31, respectively, are definitely good on fuel, and Darren would be as well. Ruben Phelps, he's now right in behind Darren McKenzie. So Ruben Phelps is actually going to fight for this podium. He is literally right behind Darren McKenzie on the timing, but and now you just see Hamish Gallagher. He's responded now, so he's just took another 1/10 of a second out of Josh. So we've seen Josh slowly peg it back, and now Hamish has gone, nah, you've got close enough. I'm going again. So you can see the smart driving there by Hamish. He didn't overdrive the truck. He was just driving it to the gap. He saw Josh come back. Obviously, they're talking in communication as well. But when he goes, I've got to put the foot down, he's done that. And he just took a 1/10 out of Josh Mickelmore to put it out to 0.74 of a second. And now they go across the pit lane, across the strike. It's just stayed identical, 0.741. But what I'm interested to see is your battle for third place. Ruben Phelps has just got that one done over Darren McKenzie. They're side by side at the moment through turns number 1 and 2. Darren McKenzie holding it on the outside. Looks like Ruben's got a little bit better tyres at the moment. And look who's sitting there stalking in the background. Your round number 1 winner, Stephen Williams. Is he going to be able to jump up here and get a podium if something happens to these guys? We're about to find out as we are going 95 of 100. Ruben Phelps now taking the third place over Darren McKenzie and Stephen Williams. So out the back of Ruben's truck at the moment, Stephen Williams trying to get the run there on Darren McKenzie. He's going to put that simrigs.com 98 truck, that Chev, down the inside of Darren McKenzie through 3 and 4. Is he going to be able to hold it down low? He just catches a little bit on the apron to try and get it to road. Look how loose that truck got off the exit, and he comes down through the tri-oval this time around. He's going to really need to get this job done if he wants to have something for Ruben Phelps as they go through 1 and 2. I tell you what, they're fighting for the minors here in this one. Just 5 laps to go. That's Darren McKenzie and Steve Williams side by side out of turns number 1 and 2 off the back of the 06 of Ruben Phelps in the SRM Australia car out of New Zealand. Will Stephen Williams be able to get the job done this time around? Doesn't look like he is. They're fighting too hard, and Ruben Phelps is looking in his rear vision mirror going, thank you, boys. You keep doing that. I'm going to go forward. But have a look who's coming up in the background as well. Another SRM Australia car, or truck rather, of Lachlan Urquio. So the 06 of Ruben Phelps now clear in third position. There's Lachlan Urquio there in the 42.
And Stevie Dubb's got that job done on Darren.
Stevie Dubb does have that job done on Darren. So Stevie Dubb now up into the 4th position as well. So does he have enough laps to try and get on the podium and talk to us? We're about to find out. He's 0.5 of a second. That gap, we'll just keep you updated. That gap in front is now just extending a little bit between Hamish Gallagher and Josh Mickelmore. You can see Ruben Phelps getting a job done there on a lap car as we go back to Hamish there. We're just a different camera view. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. But Hamish Gallagher. I tell you what, Mark, it's been a stellar drive from Hamish. You picked him. He's in the 13. Unlucky for some. Started the race strongly, and he's pretty much led the whole race apart from pit stops, and no surprise to see him at the front here.
Yeah, and look who he's just passing. Our mate, Mr. Whitty.
Yeah, Carl Withy, unfortunate there for Carl to go a lap down, but he'll be happy to still be where he is at the moment. So going through there's Carl Withy there and Hamish Gallagher. So we're about to go white flag racing here for round number 2, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series. Hamish Gallagher is bringing us to the final lap. He's got 0.8 of a second over Josh Mickelmore. Ruben Phelps pretty comfortable in third. Stephen Williams looks like he's got the job done now on Darren McKenzie. So it looks like it's all said and done. Have a look at the 13, Mr. Tay as he makes his way through 3 and 4. And he's going to come out of 3 and 4 for the last time tonight. And your winner for round number 2, season number 1 of the 2023 truck season is none other than Hamish Gallagher for a Mitch Motorsports 1-2, followed by Josh Mickelmore in the 31. And Stephen Williams gets the job done on Ruben Phelps across the line. What happened there, Mark? Stephen Williams gets the job on Ruben Phelps. So Stephen Williams, a round 1 winner, goes podium back-to-back in the 98simrigs.com in P number 3. Ruben Phelps in P number 4 and Darren McKenzie with a good job holding on with old tyres, rounding out the 5.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just see if we can get a replay on the pass there for you on Steve with Stevie Dubb and Ruben. So just a good run out of two.
Yeah, traditional move. He was 4 or 5 tenths of a second behind Ruben coming into the final lap and just had boatloads of speed and just got the job done. So no surprise there to round number 1 winner Stephen Williams. And he comes home in P number 3 tonight. So that's going to extend his championship lead at the front there, Mark. He's going to be happy with that one.
Yeah, it definitely is. Doesn't look like Hamish is doing a burnout tonight. So, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. But we'll go through, mate. Just quickly before we have a chat to these guys and they come into the green room. I haven't been talking long, have I? The tower's gone. We'll go through the final results. So it was a Mitch Motorsports 1-2. Hamish Gallagher and Josh Mickelmore taking out the first and second position. Stephen Williams from DPRSimrigs.com in third. Everything Simulated Racing. It's not him actually. He is SRM Australia. Ruben Phelps coming home in fourth. Darren McKenzie from Southern Stars in fifth. Lachlan Urquio or Urquio. Lachlan, please send me a message and tell me how you like it pronounced. From SRM Australia in sixth. So SRM fourth and sixth. Nigel Payton from Pinnacle Esports in seventh. Christopher Finlay from Simboys in eighth. Danny G, after starting at the front of this one, comes home in ninth position. Mr. Sheen himself for an SRM, 3 cars inside the top 10, if you don't mind, coming home in the 10th position as we roll across the page. In the 11th position was Greg Spencer from Pinnacle Esports. Good job by Greg. Jai Schultz, the racer, probably what could have been, but he'll be happy to come away with this one with some points after coming off the Weekend Warriors Truck Series second place, I believe it was.
Yes, second.
13th is Norman Clark from Nataria Autosport. Liam James in 14th. Kobe Jordan coming off an 8th in the Cup. He'll be happy but unhappy with a 15th, but a nice solid run from him. Jack Barrett, your podium place getter at Daytona round number 1 in 16th. Brad Fenley, your podium place getter at Daytona round number 1 in 17th. Simon Heddersheed with not a night he would have liked. I'd expect him further up, but there's always next week there in 18th. Jason Nicholas in 19th. Noddy Tompkins coming home in the 20th position. 21st was Chris Lethborg. Carl Withy, your commentator here on ANZCAR, the voice of ANZCAR, coming home in 22nd. Good job to you, Carl. Max Cooper in 23rd. Christopher Tomlin, the one that what could have been if he didn't catch the outside wall, in 24th. Luke Kenny in 25th. Unfortunate for Luke there, devastated for him after sitting up there, but that's all right. There's another week to run. Sean D in 26th. Matt Chalker 27th. Peter Gretton, we saw him in the wall early in this one. He held on for 28th, 2 laps down. Wesley Closley there in 29th. And Paul Drady, after hitting the wall early, getting caught up in that incident, 30th position. In the 31st position tonight was Gary Wellman, who was caught up in that same said incident, and Mark Smith in the 32nd. Wade Sheedy, we saw the night that he could have had and what happened to him, and he finished in 33rd. Brenton Henderson, unfortunate night for him, in 34th. Brett Campbell, we spoke to him on the broadcast, come home in 35th. Steve Hoppett, he was out early in 36th. Dave Douglas, not sure what happened to him. He's usually a master of the trucks. I'm not sure what happened, whether it was connection or whatever, but he finished 30 laps down in 37th. Luke Crum in 38th. And rounding out your 39 starters tonight was Kai Turner.
Yeah, definitely a tough track tonight. Tough conditions for the boys. So next week, I think we're let me see if I can find it. I'll just pull up the calendar for next week. Next week we're at Atlanta, so another tough little track there for 110 laps at Atlanta. So it's going to be another fun race next week, Aidan.
Yeah, it'll be a totally different race again. Atlanta, through the updates in the last 12 months, has sort of rendered itself a little bit more to a super speedway type of racing as opposed to what it used to be. So we're going to go back into that form of racing, although the truck and the cars do act differently to, say, the likes of a Daytona or a Talladega, but it is going to be pack racing, and we're going to see that. But all the guys are in the green room at the moment, your top 3 place getters. We'll bring them up one by one. We'll start with the number 98 of Stephen Williams. We'll bring him up into the broadcast booth. Your winner of round number 1 at Daytona. He's now backed it up for a podium here in round number 3. Mark, you're going to have to do that for me, please, because I don't have permissions.
Yep. Just 1 minute. So we'll pull up Stevie Dub. And you've got Stevie Dub here now, Aiden.
Stephen Williams, mate. Schultz here in the booth. P number 3. You come off first or foremost. We spoke to you winning round number 1 at Daytona last week, and P3 tonight. But I tell you what, one thing I want to talk to you about. I was saying on the broadcast, if you go watch it back, you're about half a second behind Ruben or 4/10 going into that last lap, and we thought that that's how it was going to finish. And next minute, you get the job done down through the so-called tri-oval here at Vegas to come home with 2 podiums in a row.
Yeah, pretty happy with that. I was quite surprised, actually. Ruben didn't defend a bit more. I was expecting a bit of a harder battle, and I'd given up. I'd pretty much thought, yeah, I'm going to finish 4th. Because I know how hard it was to get past Darren in the stint before that last stint. I really struggled to get past Darren, and I thought once I got past Darren that Ruben would be able to do the same to me. But yeah, was lucky and just had that run on him.
Yeah, what do you reckon happened in that last lap? We didn't see it, so I'm just trying to understand it. I did say in the callers, I just said, nearly half a second behind him going into the final lap, and just absolutely drove up, and coming out of 3 and 4, kept it low and just drove past him like he was standing still almost.
Yeah, I think just tyres. Just basically had a little bit better tyre life, I think, right there at the end. Made sure I didn't overcook it, and just concentrate on getting that drive through the corner.
Well, mate, P1 for round number 1 at Daytona. You come into Las Vegas and walk away there with a P number 3, extending your championship lead, because we saw Josh Mickelmore and Hamish Gallagher go 1-2 tonight. They were behind you in the first one, so you've extended your lead at the front. You've got to be happy at how your 2023 started in the trucks.
Yeah, it's been good so far, and just need to be consistent, because it's going to be hard to beat them if they're here every week.
Mark, over to you, mate.
I was just going to say, I ran some laps here this afternoon as a test, and the tyres seemed to fall off about lap 15. Did you guys find that through the race?
Yeah, I just tried not to push the whole time. Like, you push hard when you're in a battle, but just concentrate on not burning them up through the corner, but if you were pushing, you'd burn them off real quick.
Yeah, definitely. Well, mate, I'll do the closing bit before we let you go. Love to your sponsors and supporters, mate, and the likes.
Yeah, just well done to Hamish and Josh, and thanks to ANZCAR and the broadcast team for putting these on. So it's excellent to be part of these events. And then simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoists, Ben Max Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, NP Designs, and all the fellas at DPR Racing.
All right, mate. Well, congratulations on your 3rd place and a good, strong start to the season.
Cheers, thanks.
All right. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mark. There we go. There is your 3rd place getter tonight here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for what was round number 2 of season number 1 of the 2023 NASCAR ANZCAR Truck Series. None other than Josh Mickelmore now joins us in the booth, your 2nd place getter. Mate, it's been a long time since I spoke to you, mate. Congratulations on your P2.
Hey, Aiden. Hey, Mark. Yeah, cheers, man. That was a good fun setup to drive, actually. You have to stay pretty consistent with the car, but it was good fun.
Yeah, it looked like it, and, it's easier to look from an outside in, but it looked like if you drove it a little bit too hard for too long, got really tight, you sort of need to manage the way that the car rotated through the corner, and not only keep the front on it, but keep that inside left rear on it as well to stop a little bit of the oversteer coming off 3 and 4. Would that be a correct assumption or totally wrong?
Yeah, pretty well. Like, if you dive in too early on turn 1, it's going to stuff up your exit, and then you end up getting up super tight. So just you got to have your entry up real high, and then I was running sort of mid-track most of the race, especially in 1-2 anyway, and saved that right front a bit. But yeah, Hamish had the edge a bit, but it was good fun.
We said Hamish had the edge, and we actually went on board with Hamish during the race, and he was running exactly what you said, mid through 1 and 2, and then low through 3 and 4. We did see you drag that back to nearly half a second with only about 6 or 7 laps to go. And then we just saw him sort of put his foot down, like he was letting you get there and then just knew he didn't have it and go. Obviously, you're in comms together, but amazing job by him. But you got to be happy with the P2, mate.
Oh, yeah. No, I was very happy for 1-2 tonight. He did have about 2% better wear than I did tonight. So that was the difference, basically. That was the second or whatever. But, yeah, no, it was good fun racing, man. And fun racing the little packs we had there. I almost slammed into a lap car there when Nigel didn't give me any room. But that is what it is. That was quite fun. But passing some guys around the top, that was cool too. But, yeah, no, it was good fun racing, man. Glad to be back in the series again.
Yeah, 100%. And unfortunate 500 for you, as though you went well as well. But unfortunate for that. But, mate, what was I going to ask you? You sort of, when you come into the race, like we sort of picked who we wanted to go. And to be honest, you weren't really in the frame. We didn't mention you. We knew you'd be there or thereabouts. We know you're concentrating on a lot of other different racing as well this year, and you have done in the past years as well. How's 2023 look for Josh Mickelmore?
Yeah, we're looking at doing the full truck series and the full Xfinity series again this year. Been second to Hamish for like 4 seasons in Xfinity, so we've got to have a go at trying to win that bloody thing.
Gets old, doesn't it? Gets old.
Yeah, so we'll see what we can do in Xfinity this year. Cup series, yeah, as most of you know, I'm only sort of doing a selective rounds from that series this year, and we're concentrating on a little bit of road stuff as well, doing a heap of endurance racing, and haven't really concentrated on road much. So this year we're sort of doing a bit more road racing as well. So I've got to give something to have the time to do a bit of road stuff this year. So unfortunately, the Cup Series is only a selective series for me this year.
That's good to see you jumping into other things after being such a big supporter of the Cup Series for so many years from its infancy. It's sad to see you not being there every week, to be honest, because it's good to race you, but it's also good to see you jumping off and doing other things. Obviously, you've been there doing some enduro stuff as well. We've just gone through the Daytona 24-hour, Bathurst 12-hour, and a lot more to come. But Mark, over to you.
Yeah, I was just going to say to you, Josh, just in that Xfinity, just stay away from that car 14. I believe he's a bit of a loose nut.
Alrighty, eh?
That's what he blames all his crashes on, that he's got a loose nut and he's right in front.
Mate,
I could have gone anywhere with that, but I kept it PG. But anyway.
Just on tyre life, mate. Again, everyone's saying that you really had to look after those tyres. Where did you find your tipping point on the tyres?
Just your entry into those corners, man. If you're riding that bloody throttle too hard, you just got to stuff up that right front, and yeah, just got to carry the momentum through the corner, sort of play the throttle a bit and ease out on the corners. So yeah, it's a bit of an art to it, I guess. But yeah, just got to look after them, man.
Yeah, all right. Back to you, Hamish. Back to you, Aidan.
Wish I was Hamish. It means I would have won. But Joshy, mate, of course, it's that time, mate. Big shout out to everyone involved, the sponsors, everyone.
Yeah, it's right on to Hamish tonight and all the Mitch Motorsport boys. And you guys for broadcasting as well. Checker Flag e-streaming. It's pretty cool. I'll definitely watch it back. And you guys as well for putting out your time to broadcast. And everyone at ANZCAR as well. No
worries, mate. Big congratulations. Good to see you back in the podium and good to see you back out there again, mate. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Your second place getter tonight here for round number 2, season number 1 of the 2023 truck season here from Las Vegas, the ANZCAR truck season, that is. It was the 31 Mitch Motorsports car of Josh Mickelmore. We will bring up your winner, the number 13 of Hamish Gallagher, when he is available. We'll bring him up now, hopefully. Here he is, the number 13 of Hamish Gallagher. Mate, what a dominant performance tonight. Mark had you as his pick tonight. I had Ruben Phelps.
Yeah, Mark, you're a legend.
Mate, I need to go against the grain. You got to keep it even here, mate. But P1 tonight, mate, that was dominant, absolutely dominant, and it's no surprise.
No, thanks, Aidan. I probably have Steve Hobbit to help to thank for that first pit stop when those guys stayed out. I started right behind him, thought this might be a bit of trouble, sort of get trapped on the bottom, but he actually did a better job than the other guys. He stayed out and was able to leapfrog, like Josh and all those other guys are at the front, like Darren and Jay and stuff like that. So that was really sort of what won me the race, because after that I was able to control it. So out front with the clean air. So yeah, no, thanks to Steve.
Well, you actually mentioned that, and I said that on the broadcast. Was it surprising to you that the likes of Jai, Steve, Wade Sheedy, who unfortunately got caught up in a couple of incidents there, that they didn't come down pit lane at that time, considering there's unlimited tyres? You knew you had to pit at least twice. That put you in the window to go one green flag stop to the home to the flag rather. Did that surprise you that those guys didn't come down pit lane at that stage of the race?
I did, but I assume it's really just a little bit of inexperience. Those guys are all a bit new to ANZCAR. They probably just didn't realise in the trucks here that we got unlimited tyres. So they probably, when they saw all of us pit, they probably checked and went, oops, that was a bit of a mistake. So I'm sure they won't make that again. But yeah, they were all very competitive up front there. Darren in particular, he's had a bit of a break from ANZCAR the last couple of years, but he's come back with a bang and a win last week and on pole tonight. So yeah, definitely be someone to watch out for this season.
Yeah, he definitely is a quick steerer. Sometimes struggles a little bit with some tyre wear, but he did a good job. He jumped you in pit lane. He did that on purpose, obviously. His tyres were struggling, and he thought, I'm just going to jump now. And he did get a 2-second gap on you, and that diminished very quickly, and you got that job done. So that's what got you the win as well. But, mate, I asked the same question to Joshy before. Obviously, last year you backed off the Cup and concentrated on Xfinity because of real life stuff and did some truck stuff. How's 2023 look for Hamish? What are you looking at doing iRacing wise?
In ANZCAR, it's probably I'll run full-time trucks, and then Xfinity, I'll probably give it a bit of a break, just to let some other guys have a bit of the limelight. But I probably will run one of the seasons, maybe the second or third one at some point. And then I've got run some American stuff as well on a couple of other nights. So that's also in the trucks. That's sort of why I like to run the ANZCAR trucks. Just a bit of practice for that stuff. So still, it's roughly 4 races a week. So or at least 3 at the start, and 4 later on. So that's plenty of racing for me.
Yeah, tell me about it. I love the trucks too, and I'm spewing I don't get to drive them much anymore. But Mark, over to you, mate. Have a chat to Hamish.
Yeah, well, mate, I was out there pushing you for as much as I could, so congratulations on the win tonight. Just tyre-wise, we've all been saying that the guys are saying that they really had to watch their entry and not push too hard. How did you find your tyre wear through the night in the heat?
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected. Was quite loose in the first few laps, and I think that really helped because after those first 15 laps or so when we pitted, like the right front, right rear were even, so normally you expect that right front to start getting burned up. So I think that's what helped people's pace for such a long time. People were able to hold on. It was really just those last 5 laps and my long run we did when it really sort of hit the wall and we dropped back. So it's probably quite a good call from Darren to pit and sort of split the run in half. But he was obviously pushing a little bit hard just to try and keep the gap. And a couple of times he almost hit the wall in front of me at the end there, so it's probably just drove a little bit too hard. But it was definitely a valid strategy call on his behalf.
Yeah, very good. Back to you, Aidan.
Well, Hamish, that time, mate. Big congratulations on your P1. Big shout out to everyone involved. And what brought you home with the P1 tonight?
Yep, just shout out to Josh on P2 and Stephen on P3. He should be looking pretty good in the old championship after getting that win last week. Just big thank you to you guys for doing the broadcast and for ANZCAR for putting all the racing on for us.
No worries at all. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner for round number 2, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series here from Las Vegas. It was Hamish Gallagher. Mark, what a race it was. No surprise to see the boys from Mitch Motorsport come home in 1 and 2 and a good race there for 3rd and 4th, with Stephen Williams just getting the job done there over Ruben Phelps. What a night it was in the office.
Yeah, definitely a big night. This heat, you could see it play a big part. But again, we've got the calendar up there. Back to Atlanta next week. It's going to be another tough one. Back to a super speedway almost, but going to be another interesting race next week.
Yeah, it definitely will, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Don't write off the man that we've spoken about tonight, and Hamish just gave good kudos to, Darren McKenzie. He really loves the Atlanta track as well, so keep an eye on him. But Mark, from myself, you, everyone here on Checkered Flag Eid streaming, that was round number 2, season number 1 of the 2023 ANZCAR Truck Series. Your top 3 tonight was Hamish Gallagher, followed by Josh Mickelmore, and of course rounding out your top 3, Stephen Williams. But tune in this time next week here on Checkered Flag Eid streaming, as we're about to go live for round number 3 from Atlanta Motor Speedway. But Mark, thank you for joining me in the booth tonight. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. Thank you for doing the cameras. But from myself, Mark, and everyone here at Checkered Flag Eid streaming, we thank you for your company, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway.